Fine. How are you doing?
My name is Portia Cobb, and I wanted to ask you a couple of questions because I'm doing this documentary around traditional African music and the blues. I wondered if you could, first of all, define what the blues is. Is there a definition for the blues?
Well, the definition would take longer than we have.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to say 12 bar ABAB, that formal thing, uh, that says nothing about the blues. There are people who say that Billie Holiday wasn't a blues singer because they want to talk about some strict formal definition of the blues that has nothing to do with the blues as an emotional registration. You know, so you talk about the blues, you have to talk about the origin of that music as a form of the pentatonic scale coming from Africa and found everywhere in the world simultaneously. And then how it gets to America and the fact that the pentatonic scale that you can find all over the world, in Africa, in Russia, in China, in the South, that when Europe actually becomes the dominant force in the world as capitalism develops, then they take the pentatonic scale and put it on a harpsichord, which you could use a lever, and then they will switch the lever to get the diatonic scale or the tempered scale, which is the one they use now. And when they do that, they put the black notes, they segregate the black notes from the white notes, so that the capitalism, when it dominates Europe, creates a segregated piano. Now that's documented by Paul Robeson in his complete works, because Paul was a musicologist. The irony is that when the black people come to the United States, being, quote, illiterate, not culturally so, but to this notation system, the black notes are their notes. They see the black notes and they play them because they play the black notes. And that's the blues. So, but then the blues goes back even deeper than that when you say that. If you read Equiano, you know, one of the first slave narrators who describes West Africa, he says, you know, we are almost a nation of poets and musicians and dancers. He says, blue is our favorite color. So if you take that blue, that Guinea blue that we Africans, West Africans wear, you know, that beautiful sky blue, if you take that blue then and then have it transmogrified by the Middle Passage, what comes out as blues is no longer our most favorite color. See, all of that sadness and loss, you can say, I blew. But you also can say, he blew. You know, the combination of pain and, say, expression. So the blues then, when it gets here, blue becomes pain for us, memory, loss, and expression, you see. So it's all those things which are not quite notated, cannot be notated. You know, you could put Thelonious Monk, Blue Monk, on a piece of paper. A lot of people won't sound like that, you know. Or you could take the same note from two different horns, it won't sound alike, you know. So the question of feeling, emotion, cultural history is in that, you know, what the blues actually is. And a lot of the music that we sing, if you look at Souls of Black Folks, Du Bois, when he talks about the sorrow songs and talks about the different categories of songs, music which is the same now as it was in Africa, like Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, which is an African song, you know what I mean? And then music that we created here, then music that was here that we modified, and then music other people make imitating us. See, all of those kinds of music exist. So you'll find fragments of the blues or the blues in all of those, you see. Say somebody like Elvis Presley, who is actually doing an exact imitation. I can't think of the brother's name. The brother used to wiggle his legs like that and do all of that stuff.
Chuck Berry?
No, not Chuck Berry. No,
Someone before him.
not Chuck Berry. No, Chuck Berry is much whiter than this brother. Still, you have to, or for that matter, Jerry Lee Lewis. There's still a form of the blues. You know, there's a white blues. You see, but that's because the culture has always been integrated since we got here. You know, I mean, to talk about white people really is a kind of euphemism or some kind of misnomer. You know, because it's a mixture. The whole thing is a mixture. The only thing that keeps it as distinct is segregation. If it wasn't for segregation, discrimination, this music and the culture would be almost, you know, completely mixed. You know, it consists of what? African, European, and Native American. It would be mixed. You know, there's no way you could. If Charlie Parker could play Cherokee, boom, 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 boom. I mean, you know, it's a mixed culture, but the segregation keeps the historical distinctness clearer than it would otherwise be, you know. But everybody sing the blues in America in one form or another. I mean, Cole Porter, Irving Berlin, all of those people, their songs only really come to life, although I won't say only really come to life. They come to life when you put them in the mouth of a Billie Holiday or Ella Fitzgerald or Sarah Vaughan. You know, when you listen to Cole Porter's song, sung by, say, Ethel Waters or Billie Holiday, didn't you hear that for the first time? Then you hear the blues quality that they have copped that is then reprojected, you know. So the music is, if you come to America, one aspect of American music is the blues. I don't care who's singing it, what they think, whether it's the rock and roll people, rockabilly people, country and western people. You understand? It could be Hawaiian music, you hear the blues. And they just got in the doggone, they just got to be a state. But you could hear it, you know, because that music was universal before we made it a specific thing. The pentatonic scale was universal before we made it something ours. You know what I mean? Except that it comes from Africa, so, but everything has that basis, you know, of African culture, historically, you know, everywhere. When you look at Buddha and see them dreads he got, you know, they was there a long time ago. You know, or you can go to Cambodia and look up on the mountains and see Louis Armstrong's face, or what looks like Louis Armstrong. Or go to Acapulco and see Louis Armstrong again, you know, 40 feet high, you know. It's, the history of the world is what you have to understand any particular cultural development in it. If you understand the history of the world, then you'll know how things do that and still be carrying some stuff from way, way back, you know.